funny. She doesn't look Jewish.
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sur and the Kodan Armada.
I like this ship.
You know, it's exciting.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
And seriously, you played the old intro?
Was that the old one?
Welcome to another episode of Warp My Tardis here on the Geek Culture Cast Network. How are you doing, Mr. Chulak?
I'm confused because I just played opening 2 and then I'm really confused now.
It should be new opening, right? I thought I had new opening.
I think you're right. Well, I had to move some stuff around. It was kind of a little bit of a rush to get this going due to the power issues. So.
Yes, you had some power issues there. So welcome to Warp My TARDIS here on Geek Culture Cast Network. Follow us on, iTunes and on Google and on all those things. Anyway, Geek Culture Cast or Geek Culture Cast Network. Find us at one of those. We're on the Facebook as well. And hey, if you're actually on iTunes and you kind of enjoy the stuff we're doing, hit a little bit of a review there. That would be awesome because nobody likes us, or so it seems. Anyway, I'm lonely. I want email. I want somebody to send me email. Send me email. Don't just send it to Pam at Geek Culture Cast.
Pam at Geek Culture Cast.
Oh, you're taking off the mic condom.
I took off the mic condom because I haven't not used it, or I've used it for too long. I think I can be responsible enough to mind my P's and Q's.
Well, you may need to replace it. You shouldn't reuse your devices.
What? A mic condom? Oh man, it's just a. Listen, I rinsed it out and flipped it inside out. It's safe. It's sterile now. There was some Purell that went in here.
Oh man,
no, none of that happened. Please, no. So, it is right around the corner, Mr. KJ, where I'm going to be in your neck of the woods next week.
One week from tomorrow.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Now, if we lock down the time that I'm supposed to pick you up at the airport, my friend.
Yes, and I will send all of that information over to you tomorrow.
Awesome.
So you'll have all of that information. The me landing has not changed. Getting there on day one. The only thing that has changed is my flight once I leave Canada and get into LaGuardia, coming to Charlotte. That's the only thing that keeps changing for me. But I'll be out of your neck of the woods. I'll be in the U.S. of A, and I'll figure out how the hell I'm going to get from LaGuardia to Charlotte. Hopefully it all works out, but American Airlines, you're not only playing with my heart, you're playing with my mind, but I don't know where I'm going to sleep yet because you keep screwing with me. Hopefully I make this connection. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be leaving, I think at like 10 o'clock local time for you. Well, it's still my time as well.
East Coast,
I'm like East Coast.
I
didn't know if I keep thinking that you're like on Central for some reason.
It's Toronto. It's
I know. Chicago. But so I've got to do that, and then when I leave out of there, it looks like I'm going to be getting home around, if it stays the same, I'll be getting back into Charlotte around 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night.
Dude, that's some sucky layover, man.
Uh-huh. Yep, because I think I go from Toronto to LaGuardia, and there's supposed to be a layover there, and then it's like taking me down to Baltimore. I'm going to stop doing this.
Hold on. You're going Toronto, LaGuardia, Baltimore, Charlotte?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Originally, it was just supposed to be Toronto, LaGuardia, Charlotte, and now there's another stop in there.
Oh, man.
American Airlines has been playing with my heart, so we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, it's all fixed up and working for me later on, but who knows?
Well, we will be recording a live in studio in the Toronto studio episode of Legends of the Panel while you're here.
Yes.
And, we've got some food lined up. I've got a poutineery visit for you lined up.
I'm so excited for that.
I'm planning on having daughter number one. I've almost got her convinced to making tortilla for us.
Okay. All right.
So tortilla for my French Canadian friends, the tortilla, it's a great big meat pie. So it's veal, pork, and sometimes lamb, but usually beef. Basically, it's all meat in a pastry shell.
Oh my God, you're gonna give me the meat sweats, man, when I get up there. Woo.
Hey, I have to treat you to some real Canadian food, eh?
Hey, I'm down for it. And this is when you say daughter number one. Actually, you should probably just say offspring number one, offspring number two. This is the one that just had a birthday, right?
She did indeed. She just turned a big 23.
Oh man, you're old, KJ.
Yeah,
I'm just messing. All right, well let's talk some geek and some science because we are on Warp My TARDIS,
and we have decided this week because of course we were bad hosts. We don't have a movie specifically to go through and talk about. Oh, we're bad.
Hey, we're bad, but at this point they should just be glad that I have power and it's not flickering right now.
Exactly, which is why in case of any sort of stupids. We're not going to try and review a movie. We're just going to stick along with a lot of big news that's been going on in the sci-fi world, especially movies and TV. And of course, Netflix, which, everyone loves dearly.
Yep.
So, big news on Netflix. Let's start with that. Jurassic Park, the series. In other words, Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic Park Lost World, and I think Jurassic World. The 4 existing movies are all available as of March 1st on Netflix again. Yay. And this coincides with the beginnings of production on Jurassic World 2.
So
because not that we didn't have enough of Chris Pratt in the first one.
So, thinking of Jurassic World and all the Jurassic Park movies and everything else like that, am I quiet on your end, by the way? Or do I sound normal?
Sound good to me.
Okay.
Levels are good.
Levels just look a little weird on my end. I don't know if I'm just... Anyway, but, I remember begging my mom and dad to go and get me VHS Jurassic Park. I never got to see Jurassic Park in the movie theaters because my mom and dad thought that it was a little too hairy for me, but they took my older brother to go see it. And I was so upset, but I remember going and getting the VHS of Jurassic Park, and I'm pretty sure I wore the magnetic tape off that VHS.
So Jurassic Park, the first one, what I remember about that was that I had it on VHS, and it was one of the first movies I put in when I got my first surround sound. There is nothing like that T-Rex scene.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When they're in the buggies, right? And the water is just doing the little pool thing. Yeah, that's what happened. And I cranked up the subwoofer.
And you put the glass there, and you were waiting. Yeah. I remember watching the behind the scenes. I don't know if it was like an ABC or an NBC special, but it was like on nightly news, and it was the making of the voices and the sounds of Jurassic Park, and how to make the Tyrannosaurus Rex's voice. They had like an ostrich, an elephant, a tiger, a grizzly bear, and then like some high-pitched like screeching tires, and they mixed all of them together, and I was like, that's how you make a T-Rex talk? And I'm like, dang. But, it just blew my mind. And Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park movie, is still one of those movies today that the special effects still holds up in my book when I watch this, because it was full-blown animatronics. Yes, they were starting to use CGI for the first time, but they used more of the grayscale models, and they did more of the structure, and then they went over the top with CGI a little bit. But I thought it was by far one of my favorite movies of all time as a kid. I can't tell you how much money my parents spent on the Jurassic Park toys that I got. That was such a great movie.
Now, I got surround sound after daughter offspring number 1 was born.
Okay.
So I didn't get my copy of Jurassic Park till about, well, no, I already had it on VHS. So I bought my copy of Jurassic Park in 93. That was about 93. And I didn't get surround sound until about 95.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, I want to say that my extent of surround sound was really only for my computers ever. Because, I had the 5.1. It wasn't until I moved into this house that we actually installed true surround sound. And even with that, I mean, there's still some places where I prefer stereo over the true surround because the sound just isn't good. But that movie is one of those movies where it gets cranked up. Any Marvel movie, it gets cranked up. Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I was going to say the thing with Jurassic Park was it wasn't the movie that got me. The movie actually is pretty straightforward. What got me was reading the book.
Yes.
Because I was on my honeymoon and I was laying in a beach chair in Florida, in Orlando. I think I've told this story before.
No, you haven't.
I'm laying on a beach chair and I'm reading Jurassic Park.
And it starts out with the beach scene and little dinosaurs.
It's the beach scene with the frill.
Yeah.
Right? It's the frill on the beach. And the kid gets attacked. And I hear this little sound and I look up. And there on the wrought iron fence in front of me is this little newt sitting there, and he's got the little thing going on his throat.
My gosh.
Like, oh, God, I'm
done. This is where, for those of you that have never read the Jurassic Park books, is it John Grisham?
No, Crichton, Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton read it. I always get those two guys mixed up. I see their faces, I know who they are, but I always mix up their names when it comes to writing. But I remember reading the Jurassic Park book way after the movie came out. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and the movie had been out for a very long time. I think they were on the 3rd or 4th movie at this point. I don't know, something with LA.
I'm old.
Yeah. Anyway, so while I'm reading this, because I'd seen the movie before I read the book, and I remember reading, and I go, this happens in the second movie, not the first movie, and that's the scene with the dinosaurs eating, and I'm just like, I'm so confused. So I had to go back and rewatch the movie. I was like, no, I'm right. The movie is completely different than the book, but I enjoyed the book more than the movie, which was really weird because sometimes it can be the other way around or vice versa. But having watched the movie first and then reading the book, I thought I was going to be more how I really liked the movie because I was younger and But
well, I mean, the thing is, if we're talking about Crichton, I mean, now we're going off on a slight tangent from Netflix. If you're reading Crichton and you want to see some really wild and crazy movies, Airframe, Andromeda Strain, and Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the Andromeda Strain. Are you referring more to the TV series?
No. The original Andromeda Strain movie.
Okay, yeah, it's
an
old
one. 1972.
Yeah, it's an old one.
Yeah.
But Michael Crichton's always had one of those. He can really build a backstory really quick, and then he adds
he could.
And then he adds that extra element of suspense, and he gets you just enough of your curiosity to know what's going to happen next, and then boom, out of left field, something happens, and you're stuck into the story, and you're wanting to turn that page. That's why I've always enjoyed his writing. But I have to be careful when I read his books because I have to make sure that I don't have anything important to do with my life because I will binge on that book like nobody's business. And there goes 2 days of my life. I'm just like, dang it.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal writer, and the work he did on those books, it stands the test of time. Mm-hmm. The unfortunate part is we lost him several years ago. And, I mean, he was also the creator of the series ER.
Was he really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Thinking of ER and kind of hopping a little bit in some different types of connections. So there's a famous actor that we just learned recently that he's now going to be starring as the captain of a new TV series.
No.
Yeah, no. He played I'm trying to remember the name of the TV show, but he plays a doctor who lost his life. and he's like a ghost, and he's oh no wait, I'm confusing that with another show. Never mind, that was a Michael Shanks movie or a TV series that was awful. Anyway, so we just found out that I'll let you go ahead and say his name because you were the one that kind of brought it up on my book radar while I was losing power earlier. Who is playing the new captain on Star Trek Discovery, Mr.
That would be
Book.
Jason Isaacs,
Jason,
who we all know as Lucius Malfoy.
But, like I told you before we started the show today, he's also played a few other characters, and he's always had a sci-fi touch in his acting. And one role that I remember when I was younger, one movie that scared the hell out of me, because I was right at that age where I was excited about space and everything that it had involved with it, but at the same time, I was completely terrified of this movie because it was a dark, gritty, dirty, creepy movie. And that was Event Horizon, and he plays one of the, I think he actually plays the Doctor on Event Horizon.
I'm just trying to go back through and find that. He was in Resident Evil.
Yes, he was.
He was the narrator. He's got such a long... Oh, that's funny.
What's that?
That's funny. So he was in Dragonheart. Guess what his character was?
I actually don't know. He was in Dragonheart, the first Dragonheart movie?
He was in Dragonheart back in 1996. He was Lord Felton.
Oh, yeah, he was the father, I think.
Tom Felton became Draco Malfoy. Lord Felton. Come on. It's funny.
I completely forgot. He also played the Renegade Colonel in The Patriot with Mel Gibson. That's also another great movie to watch as well. Let's see, what else has he done? He
was in Highlander.
I do remember him in Highlander. He dies quickly.
Yes, he was Zachary Blaine in Lady and the Tiger, 1993.
Let's see, what else has he done? He was in
tons of stuff. I mean, there's TV work. He's all over the place here. I mean, he was in The Patriot, Sweet November, The Tag, The Last Minute, Hotel, Black Hawk Down, Resident Evil. He's done stuff in West Wing, Avatar. That is Avatar: The Last Airbender TV series. Grindhouse, Harry Potter, which of course we all know him for. Entourage on the TV series. Batman Under the Red Hood. He was Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, he has definitely done quite a bit. He has a very extensive repertoire. I mean, the earliest acting thing I'm seeing that is notable, according to IMDb, is he effectively starts his acting career as a walk-on in 1988, so the year after I was born. So he's been doing this for quite a while. He is a great actor. I think the most notable role that I vividly remember him in was in The Patriot, and then of course Harry Potter. But Harry Potter came after The Patriot. But going back now, yeah. Oh, he's also in a great TV series on Netflix, which we can bounce back to Netflix. I completely forgot. He plays Dr. Elysius, or Hap, Percy, in the hit TV series on Netflix, The OA.
That's right.
If you haven't seen The OA, I encourage you to see it. It is definitely a mind thriller. It keeps you wanting to know what's going on. It's an interesting TV series, but at the end of that first season on the OA, it leaves you asking more questions than answers were given to you. And my biggest question is, what the hell happens to Hap? You don't know what happens to him. What's going on? So obviously he's got a lot on his plate because they are starting the production on the OA Season 2 already, and I believe that's supposed to come out not this year, but the beginning of next year, so 2018. He's already been cast as Star Trek Discovery as the captain, so he's already doing that. So he's got a lot on his plate right now, and I'm already seeing, I'm counting like 7 or 8 post-production things right now, 3 of which are shorts, and then the other ones are movies, and all of them are set to debut in 2017, so he's been busy the last few years, man.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
He's been busy indeed. And then he actually on his verified Twitter page. It was the nice chair. Hope it's comfy.
Yeah, hope it's comfy. I'm trying to remember which. Oh, it was in the most recent Star Trek TV series where Captain Archer is consistently trying to like get the chair comfortable. He never can get it comfortable. He's like sitting on one side, and then he sits on the other side. Then he's like completely turning one way, and he turns the other way, and he's like, it's just not freaking comfortable. So he's always standing, which is hilarious. So that's a little catch there. Hope it's comfy.
Yep, exactly.
We've got that going on. When is Star Wars Discovery supposed? Or not Star Wars. When Star Trek
Star
Discovery?
Wars Discovery. Seriously, dude?
changed it, man. My
Mixing
brain.
your genre, I tell you.
Listen.
Now, originally it was supposed to come out. It was originally supposed to air in November. It was pushed out until a mid-season release, which was meaning to come out, say about next week. And it's been pushed out again. From the looks of it, it's going to be a November series. If they've only just got Jason Isaacs on board now as the captain, they've got a lot of production work still to get done, and all of the deck scenes and all of the on ship scenes, as well as all the away scenes. So they're at least 6 months out before we see anything, and that's. I mean, they're going to be running through these shows and getting them into post production right away as they're continuing to tape. So I'm expecting we're going to see it as a new launch in the September schedule.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned if they're just getting him on board. The big question in my mind is: are they just getting him on board? Have they had him on board and they have done some filming and they've just really kept this lid on it and they're just trying to kind of peel a little bit back to entice excitement? I will say, though, that there is still a chance that they were doing some additional pitching probably to the networks with different actors. And it probably
remember, it's a CBS show. It's CBS are the front runners on it. And we know that it's going to be, the usual stupid. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but the show, we've waited so long for a new Star Trek series. And for those of us who are absolute fans, we've seen the work that Tim Russ did on Renegades and where that was going, and the fact that he's actually got a second episode of Renegades. So it's a pilot and a second episode. He's done more for the Star Trek franchise as an independent than what anyone else is doing right now to try and get this damn show off the ground. And I'm kind of upset about it because I was looking forward to seeing Star Trek come out again. But under CBS, I don't think it's possible. I think this needs to be an independent film either on Sci-Fi or on Netflix or Amazon. Go ahead, pick it up.
Another thing with it is these networks are so stingy on their licensing, and they know that even if they don't launch anything or send anything out, they know that they can keep money in their pockets if they hold on to the rights, even if they do nothing with it. So,
except put it in the background poster on an upcoming trailer that just came out that's attached to the Logan film.
Yes.
Did I just make a reference back? I did.
Not only that, but in good spirits, it's almost as if you broke the fourth wall twice on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I swear by my pretty little bonnet.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so
4 times.
4 times. Oh
See, this is what you have to put up with me. And isn't it going to be awesome when it's next week and you're actually here?
Oh man. So I was talking to my roommate the other day, and I'm just sitting here going, I'm really going to have to behave when I'm in Canada. And he just starts laughing. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going to be so geeky, and I have to realize that I'm an adult. And he just turns and looks at me and goes, you're not an adult, and neither is KJ. Just get over it. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. He's like, enjoy yourself. Don't have too much fun. I don't want a phone call saying, hey, I moved permanently to Canada. You got to move, or, you got to find another roommate. Because, I don't know. But my parents, I talked to them recently as well, and they're like, oh, when we went to Toronto, it was awesome. You're going to love it. It's such a great city. And then I told them that I was staying with you. They're like, oh, even better. You're not having to pay for, like, a hotel room. I'm like, yeah, no, I've been working the deals out with this thing for over a year now, and finally we got it together. So I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for the Comic-Con.
Show's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it's the true Comic-Con with just some extra thrown in bits and pieces as far as the actors go. I mean, yes, I am getting my picture taken with a sci-fi geek moment legend with Sean Pertwee, son of John Pertwee, who looks like his father, looks like the Doctor, looks like the third Doctor. So that's kind of awesome. Yeah. Okay. He's also Alfred on that damn show, Got Ham.
Godham. I know. I actually caught all the way up to this season, but I haven't watched this season, so
yeah.
I had to give it another chance, man. I had to give it another chance, and I'm just at the point now where I'm so far down the rabbit hole, I might as well just keep going, you know? But
yeah.
it's
well, hey, I mean, if we're talking about some of the stuff that's been going on, I've heard very good test footage came out. Nerdist was at a test screening of Wonder Woman. So Gal Gadot is pulling it out of the bag there. And looks like DC might actually have it in the right track this time. It's not Superman versus that other thing.
But what was so worrying about that was we had heard so many times during this post-production that they were doing that they kept going back and rewriting and reshooting certain scenes. And we were worried that they were gutting the movie and trying to completely redo it because of the horrific flop of Batman versus Superman. But, everything that I have read and seen where people have done the test footage, the screenings, it has been, knocked out of the park. I'm a little scared though because I don't know if it's just diehard Wonder Woman fans or people that have nothing to do with wanting to see movies like this.
It's outside of that. It's people who are superhero movie fans are looking at this going, DC is knocking it out of the park. So the question really becomes, I mean, when I started looking at this, I've seen some of the footage now, the behind the scenes stuff for Momoa as Aquaman. I mean, I know we're kind of jumping genres here over to Legends, but there's some good stuff coming. And besides that is the fact that we've also got, Game of Thrones is coming back.
Yeah.
So HBO, thank you. Even though I don't pay attention to Game of Thrones.
Oh, I do. My God.
It gives all my friends that are Game of Thrones fans something to do on Sunday nights so that I can actually, read books. So we got that going on. Now, you heard about the upcoming Supergirl that's coming out on the 20th after Sweeps?
The TV series Supergirl?
Yep.
You're talking about the musical one?
No, not the Flash crossover musical. No. I'm talking about the man himself, Kevin Sorbo, and Terry Hatcher, both on Supergirl.
Why is
so
Kevin
we have
Sorbo
Lois and Clark are on Supergirl together, and Hercules.
Well, so I haven't been keeping up with Supergirl for this season. I'm a little bit behind, but the roommate has been watching it, and it's kind of funny because, I'll come into the room while he's watching TV, his time in the living room, whatever, and he's catching up on it, and I'm sitting there like, oh, you're like really far, and I see actors, who's in it, and the most recent episode that I saw that he was watching, they had the old Clark Kent in it, and I'm just like, oh, hey, that's the old one, and he had no clue.
You mean Dean Cain?
Dean Cain, yeah. He had no clue who he was.
So Dean Cain has been playing the father of oh darn it. Not Supergirl, but the sister. The one who works for the DOE or whatever they're calling themselves.
The alien watch people, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I never paid attention to that. I guess I haven't gotten to that point in the show where he shows up. But
he was in season 1. He was in the first episode.
Was he really?
He shows up towards the end again when we first know that the Martian Manhunter is there, and then he shows up again 2 or 3 episodes in season 2.
Wow.
So
I have missed
him.
Yeah,
I'm that far ahead, dude. I'm actually up to date on some of it.
Now you just need to get caught up on Arrow and Flash.
I actually am going to go back and start figure out when I'm going to binge watch, but try and binge watch Arrow.
Again, season 2, not that great. Season 4, not that great. This season isn't terrible.
So the odds are good, the evens suck.
Yes.
So it's the opposite of a Star Trek.
Pretty much, yeah. But as far as Arrow goes, I don't know how much longer it's going to be on the air. I don't see it going past season 6, just because they need to completely either redo the storyline or they need to
jump the shark.
Yeah, or they just need to make Stephen Amell do cameos in every other show. Because I feel like
they've been talking about that, but they were also talking about having Amell do cameo in the new Batman solo.
Well, there's so much messed up with all of that, and I don't think DC is going to allow that crossover with the whole. Here's DC TV, and here's DC movies.
Yeah,
because we already see they're not doing that with Flash.
Yeah. But talking about TV shows that have become movies, let's talk about Power Rangers, which is coming out in about 2 more weeks.
I know. I saw the trailer when I went to go see Logan, the more recent one. It looks pretty good. I was really on the fence about this, going in line with our sci-fi theme show that we're on right now. I was a little worried about it because
I'm worried about Alpha. The way that I've seen the Alpha character, I'm like, I'm not so sure about this.
I'm not really worried too much about Alpha because you never really see Alpha that often in the series except for when they're in the lair, and that's about it.
So is Rita the one we're worried about?
Rita's the one I'm worried about. But Rita's look, part of my language, is badass. I think she...
Yeah, I've seen some of the screen images, and when you see Rita Repulsa, I'm like, okay, that's got some major armor going on there. I'm okay with that.
I mean, it's sexy, it's angry, it looks like she's definitely there to, kick butt and take names, so to speak. And they also kind of have hinted at that they're going to dive into the fact that Rita may have used to have been a Power Ranger in this movie, which is very interesting. As far as
with the amount of green they've put on her as a possibility of the old Green Ranger, that's kind of awesome.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of green on her. As far as the Green Ranger goes, I mean, if you watch the TV series way back in the day, she really wasn't tied into the Green Ranger, but there was all
tied into any of the Rangers as such. Although she seemed to, there was an awful lot of stuff with the White Ranger.
Yeah,
that with Rita and the White Ranger.
But I'm excited to see it because when I watched the most recent trailer, in the background of like when a big fight's going on, you kind of get a glimpse of something a little gold and a little bit of feathery. And I'm like, oh my God, that is one of Rita's minions that you see that's Goldar or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Goldar.
I'm like, oh my God, is that him? But, it was such a quick scene and such a quick cut. I'm like, oh, they're teasing you so good. Man, I need to go back and, like, slow that down and really look at it from an angle and decide if that's it. But I think the special effects are going to be there. I mean, is this going to be one of those movies where everything we see that's decent as far as storyline is in the trailer? Is it really good? Does Bryan Cranston do a great job as Zordon? What's going to happen here? So we've got, 2 weeks before this movie comes out, I think?
Release date is the 24th.
Okay. So, yeah. Right after I get back into the Charlotte from Toronto, going to have to go see that movie. There's a lot of movies coming out this month.
You get back on what, the 20th, right? You're heading back out on the 20th.
Yep.
So it's that Friday.
I'm just trying to
What will I be doing on the Friday? That Friday, I'll be prepping all of my photo gear to go to an event, volunteer event. Anyway.
So I'm just looking here at the different movies that are coming out in March, and I forgot that March is filled with great movies. So Logan has just come out. We also know that Ghost in a Shell is supposed to come out, I think, this month too.
I thought it was pushed out to June.
Let me look at this thing I saw earlier. I want to say it's the end of March. It may have gotten pushed out to June.
March 29th. You're right. It's the end of the month.
Yeah, now I have here March 31st, Ghost in a Shell in IMAX, but that may just be different.
Yeah. It's releasing in France on March 29th. So the global release is obviously after that. So it's going to be North America on the 31st, right?
Gotcha. So it's like a Wednesday thing that they're going to do, and then, of course, everyone else is that weekend. I'm interested in seeing that because the anime was always good, but I'm really thinking this movie is going to do it even better.
Well, it's Scarlet. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, you got Scarlett Johansson.
Well, no, I mean, okay, let's look. This is not about Scarlet in a skin tight suit. Okay, it's about Scarlet in a skin tight suit, but it's also
what are you talking about?
No, if we look at Scarlet and Lucy, and look what she did there, and she really showed her chops. We've talked about this a couple of times.
Yeah,
and then you look at Ghost in the Shell. So Scarlett's got that specific sexy look that they're looking for. She's got the body type they're looking for. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact that she can actually act. It's a full package.
Indeed it is. I'm trying to think if this is the other movie that... Okay, yeah. So this is something that I also want to talk about. It kind of plays on the whole sci-fi thing a little bit, just because of the weird dystopian apocalyptic kind of theme. But it's going to be a very dark, very gritty movie, very, very bloody. Definitely not something you should go see with a family member, unless it's like a brother or something like that that's old. Have you heard or seen anything about the movie called The Belko Experiment?
No, not yet. I have not seen anything about that one yet.
So this movie comes out like March 17th, so I think this weekend or next weekend.
That's next weekend while you're here. On Friday, you're here.
So the whole plot is there's about 80 Americans in a high-rise corporate office in another country, like a third world country. They're working out of this area. And it's got high security, high lockdown procedures and stuff like that. And basically what happens is the company that's employed them goes crazy. And they hired them saying they were going to do one job, but now it's a social experiment. And they're going to say, basically, we're locking down the building. You can't leave until X amount of people die. And you guys have to decide who you're going to kill. So it is crazy. And at the same time, there's a mystery theme involved and how to break out and how to save everyone. I think it's going to be kind of... I don't know. These kind of movies are always hit or miss with me. And it's a little sci-fi-ish because... I think there's something else involved as far as the company that kind of controls it.
Sure.
Like maybe extraterrestrial.
Ooh. Well, see, now what I'm actually waiting for is actually not until May 26th. So it releases for Memorial Day.
May 26th. What is that? Which movie are we talking about here?
The Little Jack Sparrow. It's Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Oh, come on. Paul McCartney has a role in it.
He better be playing a piano or a guitar. Otherwise, I'm going to be a little upset.
It's Paul. Paul will be there, worried about chasing after the money that his wife took.
Oh, my God. Well, don't marry and do horrible... Never mind. I'm not going to go down that road.
Yes.
Well, we've got a few of the movies coming out. What other Marvel movies come out this year? There's a lot. So what happens in June?
Black Panther.
When is that?
November, I think. I thought there's a couple of coming out in July. It was like it's all over the place. I mean, Deadpool 2 is coming out this summer. Or supposed to be. We'll see. Let's just take a look at Marvel movies.
So we've got Wonder Woman coming out June 2nd. We've got The Mummy comes out June 9th.
Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy are all this year.
You know what? I don't know if I want to see The Mummy now.
Okay, Black Panther's been pushed out to February 2018. Avengers Infinity War is May 4th of 2018. Thor Ragnarok is November 3rd this year. Guardians of the Galaxy I know is this summer because it's like, yeah. Oh my God. Groot, put on your seatbelt. And then you just see him fly across. That is going to be a great movie Guardians of the Galaxy is May 5th. I will be going to see that on probably the 6th. No, I won't be seeing it the 6th. I'll have to see it on the 5th.
Your birthday is what, the 4th?
The 8th, my friend.
The 8th, that's right. You're the day before me. I always forget. I know we have a close birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Well,
I need to. I'll go see it on. I have to see it on the Friday because the Saturday and the Sunday I am swamped. activities. Again, this whole volunteer thing is like a whole other career.
I know. I've mentioned this to you before. I'm surprised I can at least manage to get 1 day a week from you. I mean, you're always so busy. But the other movie that I'm excited for coming out later this year is The Dark Tower. That comes out, I believe, in June, May. When
July something. That's the Stephen King Dark Tower series, right?
Yeah,
that's the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't get behind Stephen King's Dark Tower series or his Western stuff, but
July 28th.
I never have a problem with watching it or A Little Misery.
Misery was great. I love that. That was awesome. But anyway, so we have kind of gone off the little beaten path here on different movies.
Well, it's our usual round and back.
Round and back.
So we know that if for our comic book fans, that Iron Fist is going to come out next weekend.
Oh, God.
Actually happens while you're here again. But I think the bigger production right now is that Ridley Scott has said he is willing to come back and do another 6 Aliens films. And I say, please don't. That along with Michael Bay with his last of the Transformers.
My God. That franchise is still going?
Well, it's some last night or something, and it's Optimus with some sort of sword thing.
I don't know. I watched the first 2, and after that I was done. Maybe 3. Maybe first 3, and I was done with that. When they got rid of... Well, when Shia LaCrazy left, that's when I stopped watching. I don't watch the Marky Mark version.
Shia running around in the buff?
Yeah. I don't know. I will say, though, thinking of sci-fi and going to movies and understanding... I know I've told you this before on the other show, but maybe not this show. People out there listening, and when you watch a movie and you see something that doesn't look realistic to you, don't say that doesn't look realistic to you or you can't find it believable when you're in the movie theater, 1. And 2, especially when it's a movie like Transformers, because what part of a robot alien that transforms into another vehicle seems slightly real to you? So
exactly.
I remember the guy behind me going, "Oh my God, that's so real. That's so fake looking. You can tell that's fake." And I couldn't handle it. I had to say something to him, and I did.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
now here's our cross promotion moment in the show. So you've already heard us talking about Legends of the Panel and our Legends of the Panel podcast, which is our comic book podcast, alternate Tuesdays to this one. So this week is Warp My TARDIS. Next week will be a Legends of the Panel. Well, no, next week won't be a Legends of the Panel because we're taking a break because you're getting ready to fly the next day here to Toronto for the Toronto Comic-Con, a live Legends of the Panel in the Toronto studio for the first time ever in the Toronto studio, other than just me. Now, I will say, if you are a listener to the Geek Culture Cast Network, then you also know that we have Active Geek Podcast. The guys just finished doing King Kong. Haven't listened to it yet.
I listened to it a little bit this morning, and it's really good. It definitely reminds me of the first time I watched a King Kong movie. You can tell they're excited in it, and they're brutally honest on this one, on their thoughts on it. So depending on what you think about, I encourage you to go listen to it and chime in at them. Tweet at them. That's Active Geek Prod, I believe, is their Twitter. And then, of course, you can tweet using the hashtag GCCN, Geek Culture Cast Network hashtag.
Or is it Active Geek _? I thought they were at Active Geek _.
It may be Active Geek _ Either way, you can tweet at us at Geek Culture Cast. And
exactly.
Boom, they can see it and they can look at it. So...
See, there's cross promotion going on because I'm good at that stuff.
Well, we're also doing some cross promotion. I know this really goes more for Legends of the Panel podcast, but our friends that we've interviewed several times over at Australia Comic are currently doing a Kickstarter right now.
Where are we at? I haven't checked it.
I haven't checked it today either, but they definitely need your help. They are making a phenomenal comic book called Australia. It tells the story and the indigenous stories of Australia. And they add a little bit of colonialism into it, and it's got a great story, phenomenal artwork, and what they're trying to do is cut down on the cost of shipping and printing, and literally making this entire 200-page story in one book, so that way you get it in one go and you don't have to worry about remembering to buy a Kickstarter every few months to get your 6 issues or 7 issues it's going to take to make. They have a huge undertaking they're trying to get. I believe they're trying to get $45,000 US.
Yeah, 65,000 Australian. They are currently at 10,769 Australian with 20 days to go.
So they're doing pretty good. I mean, it's always a big push in the beginning, and then just like every Kickstarter, it gets a little dry in the middle, and then near the end is when you always get another big heavy push. But please go and show our friends over at Australia Comics some love and pick up a book. It's great. You're going to enjoy it. Great artwork, phenomenal storytelling in it. And, yeah, I think it's only, you can get the whole book for $40 or $50 US, I think.
Yep.
So it's really cheap. And shipping's included. So, hey, you can't beat it.
But then there's our friend Miles over there, and the work he's doing. He's going to be at Emerald City Comic Con, which I think is this
over.
weekend.
No.
Is it over? Was it last weekend?
It was last weekend. It is over. I was getting tons of Instagram photos and snaps from our friends at Emerald City Comic Con. I saw Miles's Twitter. I also saw the guys over at DC on the toy panel. They were posting stuff on their Twitter and their Instagram, so I got to see the cool stuff they were doing there. And creator and founder of the Lilac City Comic Con, which is on the east side of Washington State in Spokane, Washington. My cousin-in-law who had set up, he was there with his little offspring number 1, and they were showing all different cool poses with Star Wars and speeder bikes and helmets, and they were having a blast. You definitely got to see it was a family fun environment, and it just goes to show that even if you run your own comic book convention, you still go to the big ones and have fun with your family. So
exactly,
that may be the next big one that I go to. I still want to go to Baltimore just because that's another great comic book convention we need to go to, but I do want to go all the way back out to Washington, maybe go to ECC and see their kind of stuff out there.
Well, either that or I think
Spokane.
maybe we should go back out to Spokane and hit up Lilac City.
We should, because this year they have Tim Russ. Actually, he is, yeah.
See, why can't I be there this year to meet the man and go, I love your work on Renegades. What are we doing next?
Yeah, Tim Russ is going to be there speaking. They also have the gentleman that plays Abe Sapien in the Hellboy series, and he's notable for a few other roles I'm trying to remember, but he was on like TV shows like Arrow and Gotham and Teen Wolf, where he does a lot of special effects and weird characters because he can do those weird poses and bendy stuff that only he does so well. So he's going to be there. They also have some guest artists and writers, but if you want any more information, you can head over to lilaccitycomiccon.com and go ahead, get your tickets. They're dirt cheap, and now it's a 3-day event, I believe. It's either 2 or 3.
Yep.
So they're getting big for their shoes. I'm proud of them. Having fun.
Which is awesome. Which is awesome.
All right.
So what else have we got left on the plate? I think we've done all our cross promotions.
We've done all our cross promotions, and we're kind of running low.
Oh, no, we haven't. We missed one.
Who?
How's Microburst?
Oh, you are so wrong, man. You are so wrong. Microburst it burst. Let's just say that. I haven't even been keeping up with my TV shows. I'm behind really bad on TV shows right now. And I have no excuse because I'm doing nothing right now.
So the whole catch here is Active Geek, they've been plugging Microburst too.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to have to be making some episodes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really want to turn it just into a TV show, like a roundtable panel for 15, 20 minutes, and that's it. But I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, we already have so much on our plate as it is now. Just trying to find a day for me to record these is kind of crazy. And we're about to come up on season finales because we're like halfway through the midway points now, I think. So
yeah, we're in the last. We're most of these shows
4 or 5 episodes. Yeah, so we'll see where it goes. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just do like the weekly geeky news in a quick roundup. Maybe that's what Microburst will be. So I don't know. I'm still trying to find its voice / make a voice / get in front of a microphone and record /
yes.
Don't be lazy. But hey, I have been working out, so I've been getting healthy. Ish.
Yeah, before you come to Toronto.
Before I come to Toronto.
Because, you'll come up to the north and we have to feed you with the heavy-duty protein and stuff because, it's cold up here and you have to put on the fat.
Oh, my God. I started thinking about the other day. I was like, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to go up to Toronto and I'm going to bring amazing weather. And then when I leave, you're going to get
No, you're not.
Oh, come on. I'm going to have to look at the weather. I haven't even looked at weather to see what it's going to be like.
I think the high while you're here is going to be about 34, 36 degrees.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but at this time of year, we're normally 43.
So you guys are cold. We're hot down here. I mean, it was 72 today.
I'll take it. Quite honestly, I'll take it. We hit 44 degrees today. I will take 72.
Yeah, but our weather's so crazy. Our trees don't know what the heck they're doing. They're like schizophrenics right now. They're blooming, they're not blooming. They're blooming, they're not blooming. So pollen is everywhere, and I'm like, it's not even April. What is going on?
See, that's the nice thing for allergy people. There's no pollen up here.
Oh man,
it's still 3/4 frozen.
It's still frozen. It's still a brick. Well, but yeah.
And then you'll have to deal with the dog that's gained another 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
In what? Just her feet?
She's up to 33 pounds as of yesterday, dude.
Oh, man. I'm going to take your dog, and I'm going to wear her like a scarf. I'm just going to put her around my neck because, man, I wanted a boxer, but then we got Jackson.
No, you cannot take her home. She's mine.
But you sure you don't want a fluffy, furry dog? I mean, he does make a great blanket with claws and teeth. And
what,
a sandpaper
Jackson?
tongue. Yeah.
Or are you going to give me Loki?
I'll give you Jackson. You can't have Loki. Loki is like, that's my bro. No. That's a good guy. Anyway. So I feel like we're rambling on a little bit. We've hit the 51-minute mark on Warp.
You know what? That's good enough for me tonight. I tell you.
That is good enough for me. I like staying under the 1 hour mark now on our shows. Do you remember when we used to go almost 2 hours on shows?
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I remember those shows. But I will say this as a little closing thing. I have been following very closely the goings on with the Doctor Who series.
Uh-huh.
Now that Peter Capaldi has announced he's leaving as the 12th Doctor, 13th Doctor, 12th Doctor, 13th Doctor. So we're waiting to see who our next Doctor is. It's his last show will be the Christmas special. So at Christmas, we will see a regeneration and a new Doctor. Hopefully, if everything works out, we're looking maybe at Hayley Atwell as the first female Doctor.
Hayley Atwell is the first female Doctor. I would
show writers want her in.
I would not be opposed to that. I would probably really watch Doctor Who now for Hayley Atwell because I love Hayley Atwell. She's an awesome actress. Awesome. I loved her as Peggy Carter. Oh my God.
I just dig the accent.
You just dig the accent? Oh my God. All right. Well, with that said, you know what we still haven't done? You make fun of me about microburst. Where's our freaking exit? Where's our outro?
Well, since you played the old intro.
Since I played the old intro, well, you know what? We got to work on it. So we're just going to do the normal master outro on the way out. Guys,
Exactly.
Thank you so much for listening to Warp My TARDIS podcast. I'm one of the hosts, the lowly little co-host, Chulak, with the main host of the show, KJ the
Mr.
Comic
KJ
Guy.
the Comic Guy.
KJ the Comic Guy.
Who needs to go to the comic store?
I actually went to the comic store. But that we can talk about that when we get up to Canada because we're wrapping this sucker up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got some comics. Really excited about the comics I got. I think I'm gonna have to definitely make an effort of going and picking up more comics because it's always nice just to get started and finding a book and you're like, man, I really like this. So I'm gonna have to come back and get the next issue when it comes out. So, but yeah, so 1 week, my friend, we will be in Canada together and doing a show. So be sure you have your ears listening to the airwaves for the Legends of the Panel live from Canada. Be sure to follow us on Geek Culture Cast on Twitter. You can also go to Facebook at Geek Culture Cast. And, of course, you can follow us at Warp My TARDIS on Twitter for this show and at Legends Panel for Legends of the Panel podcast on Twitter as well. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you again in Canada in a week. Bye, everyone. This has been a presentation of the Geek Culture Cast Network. To find out more, email us at geekculturecastnetwork@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @geekculturecast.